Overthinking is one of the greatest challenges many of us face in today's fast-paced world. It can drain our energy, cloud our judgment, and prevent us from experiencing the peace and clarity we all desire. Buddhist teachings have long recognized the dangers of overthinking and have provided powerful tools to help us quiet the mind, find inner peace, and live more fully in the present moment. The practice of Buddhism offers a profound understanding of how our thoughts shape our reality and how we can learn to let go of the constant mental chatter. In Buddhist wisdom, there are specific teachings that guide us toward mental clarity, allowing us to break free from the cycle of overthinking. By embracing these teachings, we can develop greater mindfulness, cultivate a sense of calm, and ultimately stop the destructive patterns of overthinking. In this video, we will explore 6 key Buddhist teachings that will help you stop overthinking and find the inner peace you've been searching for. These teachings are not just theoretical concepts. They are practical steps that can be implemented in your everyday life to transform your mindset and improve your well-being. If you're tired of being trapped in the endless loop of overthinking and want to experience a life of peace, focus, and clarity, then this is for you. Let's dive into the teachings that will guide you on your journey to mental freedom and serenity. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the core practice in Buddhism, and it's one of the most effective ways to stop overthinking. At its simplest, mindfulness means being fully present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. Overthinking happens when we let our minds wander into the past or future, often dwelling on events that are beyond our control. By practicing mindfulness, we can anchor our awareness in the present, focusing on what's happening now rather than being caught in a swirl of thoughts. To cultivate mindfulness, you can start with mindful breathing. This is a technique where you focus your attention on your breath, paying attention to the sensation of each inhale and exhale. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the breath without judgment. Over time, this practice helps you train your mind to stay in the present moment, rather than getting lost in a cycle of overthinking. In addition to mindful breathing, you can practice mindfulness in daily activities like eating, walking, or washing dishes. The key is to give your full attention to whatever you're doing, noticing the details and sensations in the present moment. This practice helps you disengage from the constant mental chatter and become more grounded in the here and now. Buddha often spoke about the importance of mindfulness in achieving peace and clarity. By making mindfulness a regular part of your life, you can break free from the grip of overthinking and cultivate a deep sense of inner calm. 2. Let go of attachment. One of the central teachings of Buddhism is the idea of attachment, which is closely tied to the concept of suffering. In Buddhism, it's believed that our attachment to things, people, and even our own thoughts is one of the root causes of suffering. Overthinking often arises from our attachment to outcomes, desires, or the need for things to be a certain way. We tend to fixate on how things should be, leading to unnecessary mental stress and confusion. To stop overthinking, it's important to learn how to let go of attachments. Attachment doesn't just refer to physical possessions, but also to mental attachments such as expectations, beliefs, and self-concept. These attachments create a sense of longing and dissatisfaction because we are constantly seeking something outside ourselves to fulfill us, whether it's approval, success, or control over our circumstances. In Buddhist philosophy, letting go of attachment means accepting things as they are, without trying to change them to fit our idealized version of reality. It involves cultivating a mindset of non-attachment, which is not the same as indifference. Non-attachment means recognizing that everything in life is impermanent, including our thoughts and emotions. When we can accept this impermanence, we are no longer bound by the need to hold on to things that cause us stress and anxiety. To practice non-attachment, Start by noticing when you feel attached to a particular outcome or desire. Are you obsessing over a decision or outcome that is beyond your control? Are you constantly ruminating on past events or worrying about the future? When you recognize these attachments, try to gently let them go. This can be done through meditation, breathing exercises, or simply reminding yourself that everything is temporary. Buddha's teachings on non-attachment encourage us to cultivate a sense of equanimity or mental stability in the face of life's ups and downs. When we release our attachments, we create space for peace and clarity to emerge. In doing so, we free ourselves from the cycle of overthinking and allow ourselves to experience life as it is, without the mental clutter that often clouds our judgment. 3. Embrace impermanence. One of the most powerful Buddhist teachings is the concept of impermanence, or anicca. This principle holds that all things, whether they are physical objects, emotions, or thoughts, are temporary and constantly changing. Nothing is permanent, and everything in life is in a state of flux. Our tendency to overthink often stems from our attachment to things staying the same or our desire to control outcomes. We create mental stories around our experiences, believing that they should unfold in a particular way. This can lead to excessive rumination, anxiety, and stress when things don't go according to plan. Embracing impermanence is a profound way to stop overthinking because it helps us to recognize that our thoughts, emotions, and situations are not permanent, and they don't need to be clung to. By accepting that everything will change, we can let go of the need to control everything around us, including our thoughts. When we realize that even our worries and anxieties are fleeting, we can find greater peace in the present moment. A practical way to embrace impermanence is through the practice of mindfulness meditation. When you meditate, observe your thoughts as they arise and pass away, just like clouds moving across the sky. Notice how some thoughts linger while others disappear almost immediately. By observing the ebb and flow of your thoughts, you begin to understand that they are transient and don't define who you are. This realization can greatly reduce the power that overthinking has over you. Additionally, when difficult emotions or situations arise, remind yourself that they, too, are temporary. This can be especially helpful during moments of anxiety or sadness, as it offers a sense of relief and reassurance. You don't have to hold on to them or try to control them. You can simply allow them to exist, knowing they will eventually pass. Buddha's teachings on impermanence invite us to live more freely, without the heavy burden of clinging to fixed ideas or expectations. When we embrace change and uncertainty, we can experience life with more flexibility and openness, reducing the mental weight that often comes from overthinking. By accepting the transient nature of all things, we allow ourselves to be fully present and let go of the urge to analyze or worry endlessly about the future or past. Impermanence teaches us that every moment is unique, and each moment holds its own value, free from the pressure of needing to make it last forever. This perspective is key in releasing the cycle of overthinking that holds us in a constant state of mental agitation. In practice, embracing impermanence means giving yourself permission to let go of the need for permanence in any situation. For instance, when you're faced with a difficult or uncomfortable experience, try reminding yourself that it will not last forever. Similarly, when things are going well, recognize that these moments, too, are fleeting, and appreciate them for what they are without clinging to them. By accepting change, we begin to detach from the constant mental loop of what could or should happen next, and instead, we allow life to unfold as it will. Furthermore, embracing impermanence allows you to accept that your thoughts and emotions are not permanent fixtures of your identity. You may find yourself overthinking due to fears, doubts, or anxieties, but these are simply passing mental states, not who you are at your core. The more you practice seeing your thoughts as transient, the less power they have over you. Over time, this perspective will allow you to experience moments of mental clarity, where your mind feels clear and open, without the heavy burden of overanalyzing everything. By accepting that everything, including your thoughts, will change, you develop a profound sense of peace. The urgency to control, plan, and worry dissipates, and in its place, a greater sense of acceptance and serenity emerges. This is where true inner peace begins to take root, allowing you to live with less mental clutter and more emotional freedom. 4. Cultivate compassion and self-love. A powerful Buddhist teaching that helps stop overthinking is the practice of compassion and self-love. Overthinking often stems from a place of self-criticism, fear of failure, or the constant desire to please others. We may replay scenarios in our minds, worrying about how we come across or whether we made the right decision. This inner turmoil is often rooted in a lack of self-compassion and the belief that we are not enough. Buddhism teaches us that cultivating compassion, not just for others but for ourselves, is essential for inner peace. Compassion means showing kindness and understanding to ourselves, especially in moments of doubt or discomfort. Self-compassion allows us to acknowledge our imperfections without judgment or criticism. It encourages us to treat ourselves with the same kindness we would offer a friend in distress. To practice self-compassion, start by noticing the negative self-talk or judgments that arise when you overthink. Do you criticize yourself for mistakes or feel guilty for things outside of your control? Instead of engaging with these thoughts, try replacing them with more loving and supportive words. For example, instead of thinking, "I always mess things up," try telling yourself, "I am doing my best, and it's okay to make mistakes." Recognizing that you are only human and deserving of kindness can significantly reduce the mental weight of overthinking. Additionally, Buddhist practices such as loving-kindness meditation or metta can be an effective way to cultivate compassion. In this meditation, you repeat phrases of goodwill, not only for others but also for yourself. You might say, "May I be happy? May I be healthy? May I be at peace." By directing these loving thoughts toward yourself, you begin to foster a sense of warmth and acceptance, which naturally reduces the tendency to overthink and judge. Compassion also extends to our relationships with others. Overthinking often arises when we are concerned about how we are perceived by others or whether we are meeting their expectations. By practicing compassion for others, we can let go of the need for approval and stop worrying about what others think. Instead of fixating on how your actions will affect someone else's opinion, focus on how you can be kind, genuine, and present in the moment. When we approach others with love and compassion, it frees us from the anxiety of trying to manage every aspect of our interactions. Buddha's teachings emphasize the importance of cultivating a compassionate heart, both toward others and ourselves. Compassionate practices create an inner environment of peace and acceptance, allowing you to release overthinking and step into a state of mental clarity. When we recognize that we are worthy of love and kindness, it becomes easier to let go of self-doubt and fear, replacing them with a sense of calm and groundedness. By embracing self-compassion, you also begin to release the need to control every thought or situation. Instead, you allow yourself the freedom to simply be, trusting that you are enough as you are. With this deep sense of self-love, the mental chatter begins to fade, and you can cultivate the inner peace that Buddhism teaches us to seek. 5. Practice acceptance. Acceptance is one of the most transformative Buddhist teachings when it comes to quieting the mind and stopping overthinking. Overthinking often arises from resistance to reality. We find ourselves replaying past events, regretting decisions, or fearing future outcomes because we wish things had gone differently or we want control over what's to come. This internal resistance creates a cycle of overthinking where the mind is unable to settle and accept life as it is. Buddhism teaches us that peace comes when we accept things as they are without judgment or desire to change them. This doesn't mean we give up on our goals or live passively. Instead, it means we stop fighting reality and learn to work with it. Acceptance allows us to let go of expectations, reduce the anxiety of trying to control everything, and embrace the present moment. To practice acceptance, start by noticing moments where you are resisting the present moment. Do you find yourself dwelling on what you wish had happened, or worrying about things you can't control? In these instances, practice shifting your mindset from resistance to acceptance. Acknowledge that what has happened is in the past and cannot be changed, and what is yet to come is beyond your immediate control. One technique to help with acceptance is mindful awareness. When you catch yourself overthinking or resisting, pause and take a deep breath. Consciously choose to accept the moment as it is. You might say to yourself, "This is how it is right now. I can't change the past, and I can't predict the future, but I can fully experience this moment." This simple shift in perspective helps you release mental tension and stop the cycle of overanalyzing. The Buddha often spoke about the nature of suffering and how it arises from attachment and aversion. When we resist things as they are, whether it's a difficult situation, an uncomfortable emotion, or a challenging thought, we create mental suffering. By practicing acceptance, we allow ourselves to experience life as it is, which brings about a profound sense of peace and ease. Accepting your thoughts and feelings is also a key part of this practice. When you experience emotions like anger, sadness, or anxiety, rather than pushing them away or analyzing them endlessly, accept them as they are. Let them exist without judgment. Buddhist mindfulness practices encourage us to view emotions as passing phenomena, not permanent fixtures. When we allow ourselves to feel without attachment or resistance, we stop the cycle of overthinking that keeps us trapped in mental loops. Acceptance also involves letting go of the need for perfection. Overthinking often arises from the desire to avoid mistakes or to control every detail of a situation. In Buddhist philosophy, perfection is seen as an illusion. Life is messy, unpredictable, and imperfect, and trying to make it otherwise only creates mental unrest. By accepting the imperfections of life, we free ourselves from the anxiety of trying to control every outcome. Incorporating acceptance into your daily life will help you stop overthinking by reducing the urge to mentally manipulate situations or replay events endlessly. When you let go of resistance and fully accept what is, you create space for peace and clarity to arise. By accepting yourself and the world around you, you break free from the need for constant mental analysis, allowing you to live with more ease and presence. Incorporating these Buddhist teachings into your life can be a profound way to stop overthinking and cultivate inner peace. Through mindfulness, you learn to anchor yourself in the present moment, breaking free from the mental chatter that fuels overthinking. Letting go of attachments teaches you to release the need for control, allowing you to embrace life's impermanence without fear. Embracing impermanence itself frees you from the illusion of permanence, helping you accept change as a natural part of existence. Cultivating compassion and self-love nurtures a mindset of kindness, reducing the power of self-doubt and judgment. Finally, practicing acceptance allows you to stop resisting reality, which lessens the anxiety and mental strain that comes from overanalyzing situations. By applying these teachings, you create space for clarity, calmness, and a deep sense of peace. Instead of being trapped in endless loops of worry, you can begin to experience life with greater presence, ease, and happiness. The journey to overcoming overthinking and finding inner peace may take time, but with consistency and dedication to these practices, you will find yourself living with a clearer, more focused mind and a heart full of peace.